Hello, friends. So before we start moving and doing all the exercises, it's really important to talk about the most important factor to heal the pelvic floor and diastasis recti and the core, which is the breath. The breath is so important in our lives. It's really the core of our life force, but also of healing postpartum and also healing the core and the pelvic floor, specifically diaphragmatic breathing. To start, it's really important to notice how we breathe normally through our daily life. We don't pay much attention on how we're breathing and doing all the movements, but the breath is really the basis of this program and of healing. So it's really important that we pay attention to it. A lot of people, when they breathe mostly on up here in their chest. So it's a very shallow breath, and they're not using their diaphragm, they're not expanding their belly, and they're not really breathing in a 360 way, which is what we want to do when we're breathing with the diaphragmatic breath and for this whole program. So the diaphragm is a large muscle that sits below the lungs and helps the lungs expand and contract. Obviously, every time we breathe and every breath we take, it involves the diaphragm, but not fully. So diaphragmatic breathing is a deep breathing exercise that engages fully the diaphragm, and it also increases the efficiency of the lungs. In my opinion, it's one of the most overlooked muscles with the pelvic floor that does so much for us, but we don't really pay much attention to it. Diaphragmatic breath helps us use our diaphragm correctly and fully, like I was saying, while breathing to strengthen the diaphragm. It also decreases the work of breathing by slowing down our breathing rate. It also decreases our oxygen demand, and it uses less effort and energy to breathe. So during diaphragmatic breathing, we are consciously using our diaphragm to take deep breaths. When we are breathing normally, we're mostly shallow breathing, most of us, but not all of us, but we're also not using the full capacity of our lungs. When we are breathing in this way with the diaphragmatic breath or umbrella breath, like I like to call it, we're using 100% capacity of our lungs, and we're increasing the efficiency of our lungs. So when we're breathing, the diaphragm is moving downward into the abdominal cavity as you inhale, and your pelvic floor is descending with it to make more room for air. As the diaphragm rises back up on the exhale, our pelvic floor and transverse abdominals are releasing back to the resting state. It is really essential that we're breathing fully and deeply so all these muscles can stretch and contract to maintain their suppleness, but also to maintain their strength. So a really great image that I love is thinking about this breathing is also called umbrella breathing or 360. And I love the umbrella breathing image because we imagine it really helps me connect with my body and see what my body should be doing. So it's really great to have this image in your mind when you're practicing this breath until you get comfortable with it. So if you imagine you have an umbrella right down here, and then the umbrella as you inhale is expanding and opening in this direction. So if you imagine your torso here, your spine, your belly is expanding, your ribs are expanding, and even the back body is getting breath and expanding. And then on the exhalation, everything is contracting, pulling up and in towards the center. So you inhale, breathe fully, expand. Get all that 360 breath in all your torso, chest, not so much in your chest, sorry, but on your ribs, on your belly, and in the back body. And then when you exhale, you just contract and pull and sip everything up and in. So learning to breathe deeply and really learning to control our breath, this is something that the yogis have been doing for thousands and thousands of years, learning how to control the breath. This is called pranayama in yoga. It's one of the most important tools and one of the most important key elements for our health, overall health, not just the pelvic floor and our core, better health. We can feel more energetic. We can learn to calm the nervous system. We can reduce postural pain. We can increase the capacity of our lungs. We can be more responsive with our core and pelvic floor muscles, and we can even increase sexual pleasure because everything is connected. So really the key to our well-being is in something so simple as the breath, but that we pay so little attention. So it's really important that we get this part right. Why is this breathing so important? Well, our core muscles, like I said, including our abs and our back, the pelvic floor, they all play a crucial part in supporting our bodies and maintaining and help us maintain good posture. So when we practice diaphragmatic breathing, we are engaging properly the TVA muscles, especially the core muscles, and we're strengthening them as well as the diaphragm. So it's going to help us improve stability, balance, and even reduce any risk of injury. It's also help us heal diastasis recti, heal the pelvic floor, and just heal from postpartum. So there are a few things to keep in mind. And if you're someone, and this happens to a lot of us because we've been taught to feel ashamed of our bodies, especially our bellies, that if you're someone that's always sucking in your belly and walking around sucking in your belly, imagine what that is doing to your breathing pattern. So it's really important that you learn to not only accept and love your belly in all ways, but that you learn to relax it so you have space to breathe properly with the diaphragm, with the belly, with the back, with the chest, with the ribs, and everything is working together, easily expanding and relaxing as well. Another thing to be aware of is if your ribs are flaring out, you also want to be aware of this because it's going to make it harder to have a full diaphragmatic breath if the ribs are not able to expand properly. So now you might be wondering, how the hell am I going to do that? So I'm just going to show you quickly how to do it. I'm going to do a little tutorial so you can practice this. Again, this is the basic of this program, is the basic of this practice. So you got to get it right before you even start moving into the other exercises. All right. So let's lay down on the floor. And we're going to take some deep breaths here. I just want you to breathe naturally and just notice how you're breathing. So let's place one hand on the chest, and then you can place the other hand on the belly. And just breathe naturally a few rounds. Through the nose, you can have your mouth open or closed, whatever feels good for you. So take a deep inhale and then a deep exhale. So you want to notice if you're breathing mostly in your chest, or if you're feeling just the rising of the chest and no belly movement. That might be your pattern that you fall into mostly. Or you might also be sticking your ribs out, so be aware of that too. Take another few deep breaths there. Good. And now I want you to think about breathing into your belly and expanding the belly like the umbrella. So if you have that image of the expansion of the umbrella moving upwards, the diaphragm moving upwards. So the umbrella opens up, you breathe in and you expand your belly, but not only your belly is moving, you also want to feel your rib cage moving, so expansion of the ribs, and you also want to feel some breath in the back of the body as well. So it's a 360 breath, all right? So let's just place, you can place both hands on the belly or one in the chest and the belly, whatever feels good for you. And let's take a deep inhale through the nose. And try and relax and open and expand the belly, expand the lower back, your rib cage. And then exhale. We're going to try and see if we can blow a candle. So you're going to go exhale slowly. And again, inhale. And exhale, slowly blow the candle. Inhale, so belly breath. Back is breathing. The rib cages are opening. And then on the exhalation, everything is drawing up and in towards the center of the body. So it's really nice to have the mouth open, I think, at the beginning so you can control the breath. You can also do like an S sound when you exhale. You can go and that's going to help you not like just like exhale rapidly like that, but really control the breathing and really help you connect everything together. The slower you do it, the easier it's going to be to put all the parts together. So let's inhale again. Inhale through the nose. Expand the belly, the ribs, the back. Imagine your whole torso filling up with breath. No forcing. And then on the exhale, good. Try a few rounds like that till you get comfortable. This is going to take a little bit of time if you're not used to this breathing, so don't worry about it. Just think about your belly expanding, your back filling in with breath, relaxing and releasing any tension in the ribs as well, in the neck, and then exhaling, drawing everything inwards. You can also visualize that umbrella. I like that umbrella image because it really helps me kind of imagine you have that umbrella inside, and then in the exhalation you close it and everything draws inwards, and then on the inhale it opens. Good. And you can try that. Obviously, laying down is going to be the easiest way to do it because you don't have gravity, but it's also really important to try this breathing in different positions. So, through the program, I'm going to teach you all the different positions. You can do it on fours, you can do it on forearms, you can also do it seated kneeling. So, let's just try it seated kneeling quickly. So there are many ways and you can modify this sitting position. If this is not available for you, you can sit on a pillow like this. This feels really nice, gives you more space in the knees if you need it. You can also sit on a block like this, maybe even 2 blocks, depending on how much space and flexibility you have in your hips and in your legs. And if this is completely unavailable for you, you can also sit on a chair, no problem. So this breathing, you can also try it when you're sitting at home, when you're watching TV, and when you're doing any daily activity. Really, you can practice this breath. It doesn't have to be like a set practice. Actually, try and see if you can practice it throughout your day as well. So it becomes something more automatic and something that you don't have to think about, but you start using your breath more functionally and better in this way. All right, so let's try it sitting, kneeling. Take a few deep breaths to relax in this position. You can put your hands one in the belly and one on your chest, and we're going to take some deep diaphragmatic breaths. So take a deep inhale. See how my chest is not rising and my shoulders are not coming towards my ears, but my chest is relaxed, my shoulders are relaxed, my belly is expanding, my rib cage is also expanding on the inhale, and then on the exhale, everything is wrapping towards each other and pressing back and in, drawing in on the exhalation. Again, inhale. And exhale. You can also put your hand on your back to see if your back is also moving a little bit and you're getting breath in there. Of course, you're going to feel some movement in your chest as well. You want to be fluid with this breath, and you want to be able to feel it on your whole torso, your whole body. But it's not just up here, but you're really connecting, relaxing the belly, letting it expand, and also breathing into your back and your rib cage, okay? A few more breaths. You can even try with the mouth closed if you want, or with this, or the blowing of the candle. So you have different options. Just do whatever feels better for you. One more. Imagine the umbrella opening. Good. So that's the foundation of this program, diaphragmatic breathing. It's really important that you get this first before moving on to adding other elements of movement and activation of moving the legs and the body, because the more elements you add, the harder it's going to become. So it's really important that you get this part first. So practice it in different positions, practice it on your back, practice it kneeling, and then through the program, I'm also going to introduce other positions like fours and forearms and breath holds and other things. But it's really important that you get this first, all right? The more you do it, obviously, the easier and clearer it's going to become. So don't worry if at the beginning feels very odd and weird and hard. That's normal. So don't have any expectations or don't rush the process. Just make sure you get this part first before you move to the other exercises.